discussed by my fellow friends that social infection is added human. Example, the cases of cultural tuberculosis. And other than that, there are Wuhan sources, which is due to consumption of unpasteurized infected transmission, which could be year-on, which is due to inhalation of aerosol while coughing, sneezing, and in talking with infected patients. The tiny nuclei, which is less than 5 micrometer, remains suspended in the air. Other modes, which are quite rare, are inoculation, which is with direct skin contact, and other than this, there are other ways like ingestion. How much time, I will not take much time to draw and show here, and I've already taken a drawn picture here. So first of all, the stages by which the pathogenesis occurs will be exposure, primary infection, latent phase, and in many cases when the infection occurs or when there are these factors associated, it could be secondary infection. So first of all, I'm starting with exposure. How exposure takes place? When any infected person, or another person, the respiratory droplet as could be shown here, gets inhaled by the person. So what happens is this, that the inhaled particles to move to the alveolar, and there are macrophages which are lying in the alveolar places, and these macrophages, the bacilli avoid the lysosomal cleaving. So what happens next is the macrophages will come together and they form a lesion in the lungs, which leads to the formation of a granuloma. When the granuloma increases in size, it leads to bronchophosis. Not only that, the bacilli also spread to the lymph node, which I have already shown here, and this leads to an immune reaction, which is also called the lymph node when it is getting spread. Along with the bronchophobia, it leads to the formation of bronchocomplex. After the exposure, it's not only the end of the story that the primary infection ends up here. After that, what happens is it could be a latent infection in almost 95% of the cases, and it may stay forever. And when there is reactivation or reinfection, or when it is a immunocompromised patient, reinfection may occur, and this may lead to the secondary reactivation. So here I am showing the this is the central activation. Here is the hydroblast, which is shown here. Here are the lymphocytes, and here are the epithelial cells. And here we can see the ring of connective tissue, which is really made up of collagen. And here are the Langerhans cells, which are multinucleated germ cells. Now, we will be talking about the primary tuberculosis. I will be telling you. In primary pulmonary tuberculosis, there is granuloma formation, there is clinical fibrosis, disruptive calcification, and ossification. As already shown here, that the bacilli lymph node, as I also told that the bacilli is moving to the lymph node, which is forming the bond complex. So the macrophage process is getting processed, and the microbacterial antigens is getting processed and presented to the CD4 T cells when it's more than 3 weeks. After that, the T cells become helper T cells. They produce interferon gamma and interleukin 2. Interferon gamma has a special feature that replaces the activation of macrophage, and interleukin 2 helps activate other lymphocytes to become T helper. This is the diagram. Some of the common mechanisms are reactive oxygen species, then reactive nitrogen species, and protein species. Most of the bacilli are get killed, but some of them remain dormant for several years. And this is why there is a dormant or latent infection, which later gets converted into secondary infection or reinfection, or when the cell immunity is low, the immunity is high. Now,